Hi guys, I'm Calder from Calder's and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to take you with me through the process of trying out pouring with underglazes. In the last video that I uploaded I did the same thing with the regular glazes, but underglazes will work quite differently, so I think that the results will be different. And to just find out how it works, we will just be doing some tests. And some things might go wrong, some things might go right, we will see what happens. I've actually already made 2 tests with pouring with underglazes. I made these 2 pieces at the Botz creator meeting. I was invited by Botz Glazes. Botz is a glaze company in Germany, and they invited me over to their headquarters and they showed me around there, which was very nice. And we also got to experiment with their glazes. So I made these 2 bowls where I poured with underglazes, and I tried 2 different things to just see what worked best. And here I have one bowl where I just poured in the underglazes and then moved it around a bit so that the colors would like blend a little bit. But because of that the underglaze became quite thick, and as you can see here it got some pinholes at the bottom, and I think that's because the glaze became too thick. So what I'm going to try today is to apply it a bit thinner. And then I also, because I kind of expected this to happen, I also tried out mixing the underglazes with water and then put them in here and then like pour them, and that worked. It didn't get any pinholes, so that's great, but the colors were so thin that you see the clay through it. That doesn't really have to be a problem. It can still look quite nice, but the colors also blended quite much. I'm trying to find a way to make like the sharper lines between the colors, but we will just see what happens. So I'm actually going to try both of these things again, and then I'm going to try to not apply them too thick. And I will be again using Botz underglazes. I have here the 3 Botz glazes that I'm going to use are Wise, Blue Green and Sungelb. They're German names, so it's like white, blue green is like a bit teal blue, and yellow. So I think that will be a nice combination. And then I will also be trying it with Amaco glazes just to see if it reacts differently. And in that case I'm going to use red and dark green and also intense yellow. So we're just going to see how that works. I just have a normal bowl here. It's a bit flat so that you can easily see the inside. And now I'm just going to pour in the different glazes. I'm trying to pour in this right amount of glaze at once and not too much. If you pour in too much you can always pour it out, but when you pour it out you will get glaze on the rim, and I actually want to leave the rim unglazed. So I'm trying to just make it into the right amount at once. And as you can see it looks pretty cool. And I hope it will look like this after it's been fired as well. This looks really cool. Oh. It's a great color combination, I think. The white really adds to it. I first didn't think about using white, but it just gives something extra. Got a little hole here, that's, yes. Okay. Maybe I need some more for the rim, but maybe I'll just keep it this way because I actually like how it looks now. And if I'm going to add it, then it's going to look different. So I think I'll just leave it as it is. Yes. It has some drips here, but I think that actually looks quite nice. And this is my favorite part here. All of these lines. And it looks very thin here, so that's a good thing, because if it's too thick, maybe it's too thick here. And then there you might get like those little pinholes, I'm not sure. But I think I'm just going to leave it like this. Yes, we'll see what happens. But it already looks pretty cool in my opinion. Because I like the color combination that we just did so much, I just decided to make another one with the same colors. I actually kind of want to see how this looks like when I just try it again. So here we go. Okay, now it might need a bit more glaze. Yes. It's very liquidy, which is great for the pouring, but it also makes the colors blend a little bit. But that doesn't really have to be a problem. Okay, I'm just going to add a bit more so that I can put some on the rim as well. Okay, well, that looks pretty nice. As I just told you, I'm also going to try the same colors, but then the underglaze is mixed with water. So here I have three bowls, and there's already a little bit of water in here. So I'm just adding some underglaze in here, and then I will mix it. And then I'm quite excited to see what will happen. I don't really measure it, I'm just trying it out, and we will see what happens. And now I will just mix them a little bit. Yes, so that looks quite nice. And now it's quite liquidy, so it will probably blend a bit more. But that can look nice, we will see what happens. I've decided to put these 3 glaze onto this plate. With this plate I might just leave all of the water in here and see what happens if I just let it dry. Because that can be quite interesting. So now I just pour it in. Okay, it's maybe a bit too much. The yellow already sunk down a little bit, so I'm now going to just mix it before I pour it in. And then I just pour it in as well. Looks quite cool. And then the blue one as well. Okay, that looks really nice, but it will probably change quite a bit when it dries. But maybe I just leave it like this. And we will just see what happens when it dries. It looks pretty cool. If it stays like this after it's been fired, it's really nice, but I'm afraid it will change. I'm not going to move the plate because I don't want it to blend in even more, but I'll give you a closer look here. It already starts to dry here, so it's not too wet. And the plate takes up quite some water, but you will have to let it dry for at least a day, I think. Because you don't want the plate to be wet when going into the kiln, otherwise it might cause pinholes and we don't want that. The plate has now been drying for about 15 minutes, and as you can see the colors blended a bit more. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but it does start to dry more and more, so it will completely dry and we will just see what happens. As I told you, for the next pieces I'm going to use underglazes from Amaco. So I just stir this as well, and then I get started with the pouring. And here we go again. So I just pour in the glazes and then I will just move it around a little bit. It looks quite cool actually. As you can see, the colors break through each other a little bit. So that looks really nice. There are some harder pieces in the underglaze. I'm afraid that's in the green glaze, but I'm just going to leave them in here and we will just see what happens. But it looks pretty cool. And with the next one I'm also going to mix the underglazes with some water. So I got these little bowls again with a little bit of water in it. And I'm just going to add some underglaze to it. Okay, it might have blended a bit too much, but I wanted to try to get it on the rim. But as you can see, it's just very thin here because it is so liquidy, and now it's all a bit too much one color. So I don't think I will like the result as it is now. So I'm just going to add a little bit more glaze and then just leave that in there. I'm not adding green because it's already so much green. Okay, I think I will just let it dry like this and then I will see what happens. It doesn't look too good, but you never know what happens after it has been fired. Yes. Hi, it's the next day and everything is dried. These two took quite some time to dry because I added the water to the underglaze, but they did dry all the way and now they're ready to be clear glazed. This one looks quite good. The colors blended in a little bit more while drying. This one still looks a bit weird. And there are some air bubbles at the bottom which look quite interesting. So if you still see them after firing, it might even give a nice effect. But we'll see what happens with that. So now I will be applying 2 coats of clear glaze. The clear glaze that I'm using is zinc-free clear glaze from Amaco. I have it in a gallon because I used a lot, but you can also just order normal sized pots. And I will be applying 2 coats on the inside and the outside. Hi guys, it's 2 days later and the pieces are now in the kiln and the kiln has cooled down. It's already open because I also did these techniques with normal glazes and I made a video about that and posted it last week. So if you haven't seen that one yet, please check it out. I will leave a link down below in the description as well. But for now, we're just going to open the kiln because I'm quite excited to see how they came out. And yeah, let's just have a look. The first piece looks really nice. This is the plate where I mixed the underglazes with water and then just poured them in, and I left all of the water in the piece. I was a bit afraid that something would go wrong because the water was in the piece, but I just let it dry and apparently it just worked out. The clear glaze, as you can see, is still nice and shiny and flat, no pinholes or anything, so the water wasn't a problem in this case. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. The colors blended a little bit, but that was already before firing. Since underglaze doesn't melt, it doesn't change that much. So I'm quite happy with how it looks. It is a bit more minimalistic than with the other pieces that we're going to see, I think, because there aren't really sharp lines. I like how it turned out, so let's go to the next one. Hi. This one is with the Amaco underglazes. I'm not really happy with the color combination, but I picked it out myself. But I mean, if you like these colors, then you might like this piece. But as you can see, there are some harder pieces in the glaze, and they were already there before I fired it, unfortunately. And I didn't take them out, so I should have taken them out. You see a lot of detail in the different colors, so that's nice. Like, the colors didn't blend in that much, which I do like. On the sides, the colors blend in a bit more, I feel like. But it does look quite nice, and yes. Let's just move on to the next piece. This is the one with the glaze where I mixed it with water as well. So these are the Amaco glazes mixed with water and then poured into this plate, bowl thing. And I already saw before firing it that there were little air bubbles in the glaze in the middle, and they are still here, so that's unfortunate, I think. I do still feel them, so there's texture, so I wouldn't really use this to eat from, because like, food can get stuck in a little hole, so then it becomes a bit dirty and then it's not really food safe anymore at a certain point. Maybe like you won't die, but better not to use it, I think. The colors on the sides look quite nice, so I actually like the sides more than the middle part. And at the middle it just blended so much that it became one color and it's not that interesting. The next piece I'm very happy with. I already expected this glaze to work the best actually. This is with the Botz Underglazes, and they are the same colors as the one with the plate. So with the plate I added water and here I didn't add water. And I can actually say that I like the one without the water better. But with the water it can also give nice effects. But without the water it's just the lines are a bit sharper, and that was kind of the look where I was going for from the start. So as you can see, especially even on the sides, the glaze didn't run down because like it's underglazed, so it doesn't really melt. And it stayed in the right place, and I really like how it looks. The bottom also looks nice, and I like the color combination. So I'm very happy with this one. And let's go to the last piece, which is also the same color combination as this one, because I made two, because I already felt like this was going to be my favorite. This one also looks really nice. Here the colors blended a bit more maybe, because I just moved it around a little bit more. But yeah, it does look quite nice. Yes, I like it. Especially here on the side where the colors like are going into lines. I don't know what that's called. Furthermore, it looks quite nice. So that was already it for this video actually. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. If you haven't seen the video with the normal glazes, I would definitely check that out as well. In my opinion, this technique works better with underglazes because you see all of the lines a bit better, and that was the look where I was going for. I really wanted to have that poured lines look kind of thing, if that makes sense. So yes, in my opinion it works a bit better with underglazes, but the normal glazes also gave quite some cool effects, so it's just whatever you're going for and whatever look you prefer. And if you're going to try this technique yourself and you're going to post it on Instagram, please tag me at Calder because I would love to see it. And if you're not posting it but you would like to share it with me, please send me photos through email or through Insta DMs, because I'm quite excited to see how this pouring technique works for you and what rituals you have with maybe different places or different kiln settings, different temperatures, whatever. So that is it. I hope you liked it and you learned something new from it. I learned quite some things, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!